Okay, so morning, folks, and welcome to the briefing on the 18th of September. So we've had this easterly wind for the last couple of days now, and you can see this is the overnight chart with the isobar spacing. It's reasonably close, and as we run through for the next 12 hours up till midday, 1 o'clock, we can see that there's beginning to be a squeeze on the isobars, and the wind will be picking up today. Also, we can start to see this sort of low pressure system and the fronts tracking further north over the next 24 hours. And there's sort of various models that predict that we might see some rain over here tomorrow afternoon, evening, and others say we might not. So I think we're going to start to see the influence from it late this afternoon and this evening. So winds today, a little bit similar to yesterday, much stronger down in the Channel and across northern France, 35 knots at flying heights, north of us 20 knots. So I think at flying heights, 25 knots, pretty windy. So perhaps a fraction windier than yesterday, and slightly north of east, 080, 070 probably, flying heights, and on the ground 050, 060, so northeasterly. Later on, all the TAFs for Farnborough, Gatwick and Heathrow are saying 15 gusting 25 occasionally, so it will get blustery, I think, from mid to late morning onwards. Sat pics at the moment don't show any cloud here, and I think it is going to be a blue day. Small amounts of hazy upper cloud to start off with. But if I just look at the infrared picture, which is the European chart, you will see this big curl of cloud here and the cold front associated with it. And we're going to start to see the influence of that cloud later in the day, just coming through and over us and killing the sun off for a bit, certainly late afternoon, evening. And that's the stuff that's going to come and get close to us, hopefully tomorrow, but not actually affect us. So temperature wise, it seems to have been going down over the last 2 to 3 days by about a degree or two per day. So I think we're looking at perhaps 19 to 20 today max in the sheltered areas. And if you look at the Lasham weather station, you can see this time yesterday at 9 o'clock it was about 14 degrees. Now it's about, I suppose, 11. So I think we'll be lucky to crack 20 today, and it certainly won't feel like that in the breeze sat at the launch point. Dew points, they'll probably be about the same as yesterday, coming up to about 9s and 10s. But it's very dry air. Wind direction, as you can see there, is northeasterly, and it is beginning to pick up a little bit. So the soundings for today, not too dissimilar to yesterday, showing a lot of spacing between the two lines, which means it's dry air, very unlikely that there's going to be any cloud, and quite a strong inversion. So even plugging in 19 degrees, I think you're probably only going to see 2.5 today. And it's going to take a long time to actually get some mixing to get things going. The Lark Hill shows this strong inversion, not as solid as yesterday. It goes all the way up here. So as the day goes on, temperature goes up, the top of the thermals will go up, but there's an awful lot of trapped dust and grotty air underneath that, so the vis won't be great, certainly up to the top of the inversion. I think 2.5 is being fairly optimistic today. Top Meteo seems to suggest perhaps a little bit better than that by 12, 1 o'clock. 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters, but then beginning to die out fairly quickly in the afternoon from the east. Cloud amounts, they're not suggesting much at all, really. Again, like yesterday, we did see the very occasional cumulus yesterday, but I don't think you're going to see anything today. No clouds, but as the day goes on, you start to see the influence from this upper cloud coming in from the southwest, and that's 1600, 1800. So we're going to start to see it afternoon and evening. And as you can imagine, they're not really suggesting a great distance today, so it is certainly not a cross-country day. It's one for local soaring, and you wouldn't be getting vintage gliders out in these windy conditions. Just a note for anybody who's got a baby grob booked, if it does turn into 15 gusting 25 northeasterly, we may put those away due to the conditions. Airspace wise, there's a number of things going on today local to us, but they're more to do with jet movements and operational. Actual airspace, nothing in this area here, so very quiet in terms of parachuting or any other local NOTAMs. But we do have potentially 2 jet movements today marked on the board. I've got a flight plan for one, so potentially 10:30 and then 11:55 at the moment. Because of that, we are going to have a slightly different operation. The launch point will be set up near the tower by the 2EE complex, and we will winch launch across the field with the winch set up down here near the runway. We'll air a tow off the main runway, but when the jets come out, that means we can very quickly just move the fire truck off and leave them to it. Once the jet movement or movements has taken place, we'll then probably go back onto the runway. Just be aware that if you are traveling back and forwards, either on gators or walking, keep an eye out just in case the strobe suddenly comes on and they spring the movement on us at short notice. So that's about it, folks. Blustery day, local soaring, turbulent behind the trees. A lot of people were having some interesting times yesterday landing in this area here, and we have an offset launching operation because of jet movements. Okay, and hopefully see you again at the briefing tomorrow.